Why some people score low in grammar and despite that are able to get good score in PTE, more than 79 in each section. And why is it that some people score, let's say, 90 in grammar and despite that struggle to get their desired score in their exam? In this video, we'll try to answer these questions. Let's get started. If you are new to this channel, my name is Roman. I'm founder of Roman PTE. We have been offering online and face-to-face classes to people all over the world. If you're interested in our services, please go to the link given in the description or shown on the screen. So talking about the topic for today, that is grammar, how important is it for us to have good grammatical skills? And when we get our score report, the grammar score we get on that report, how much does that reflect the actual grammar skill we have or what happened in the exam? Now, a very common complaint of many students is I got really good score in the test, but despite that, my overall score was quite low, or my score in certain sections were quite low, and my friend scored very low in grammar, and despite that was able to get more than 79 in all the sections. So how is it possible? In order to understand this, first we have to understand the scoring pattern of PTE and from which question types we are getting score for grammar. Now, score of grammar comes from some questions implicitly and some other questions explicitly. Specifically speaking, questions like summarized written text, summarized spoken text, and essay writing have specific criteria for grammatical evaluation of your work. Another question, it is implicitly assessed. So that means if we are doing really well in these three questions I just mentioned, then we'll get very good score in grammar. On the other hand, if we are not doing so well, then we might not get good score in grammar. So what that means is the score you are getting in grammar actually is the score you are getting in those three question types, and how good your grammar was in those three question types. Not just that, you also need to remember that the grammatical evaluation of your work only involves the evaluation of the work you have done. In order to understand what I just said, let's take an example here. Let's say there are two students, a student A and a student B. Let's say that a student A wrote one essay and a student B also wrote one essay. A student A wrote only 2 paragraphs, but a student B wrote a complete essay. Because a student B wrote more, there were more chances of error in his work, and let's say that he also made a few errors in grammar. Student A, on the other hand, wrote only 2 paragraphs. Because of that, he had fewer chances of making the errors, and he did not make any mistakes in those 2 paragraphs. Now, if computer looks at their work, then computer finds that in student A's work, there are no errors as such grammatically, and it will award student A more score in grammar compared to student B, who had made few errors. But if we look at the overall evaluation criteria of essay, what we can see is it has 7 different criteria and grammar is just one of them. So despite getting low score in grammar, if student B has done very well in other 6 criteria, his score will be higher than the score of student A, who will perhaps get more score in grammar. So what it means is grammar is not an accurate reflection of your overall performance in the test. And another important thing to keep in mind is you have 2 different types of score on your scorecard. One is called communicative skill score and another is called enabling skill score. Now, enabling skill score, which you get at the bottom of the scorecard, is not a true reflection of your performance on that particular day. It just shows you different areas in which you may have had problem or you may have done really well. So it gives you a rough idea of where you need to focus before your next test if you are getting low score in those areas, but it does not truly show your actual skill. In other words, Pearson itself says that the score you are getting in enabling score has an inaccuracy level of up to 35%, so it is not reliable. And you can find this information in the score guide, as you can see in this screenshot here. So what we need to remember is some of the enabling skill scores that we get in the exam are just an indication of what we may have done in the test rather than a true reflection of what actually happened in the test. If somebody is getting a very low score, for example, what we do is, or what I do is, I look at their communicative skill score, then I look at their enabling skill score, and then based on my experience, I analyze them. And based on that analysis, I tell them in which question type they struggle. For example, if someone shows me that their score in pronunciation is low, their score in speaking is really good, let's say 90, but their score in listening is only 72, then I can tell them that they need to focus more on repeat attendance and retail lecture. Now, how do I do this? It's based on my experience, my observation of the last 5 years. But even then, I tell them that, remember, this is only an indication of what may have gone wrong. Only Pearson knows what actually happened, or you know what you did in the test. And if you can sit down with me and discuss these things, then I can tell you for sure where you may have struggled. Another way we help students in finding out where they actually need to focus in their next exam is we ask them to take our mock test. Now, this mock test we have designed is fully automated and it gives you a score automatically, but at the back end we can also access your work and have a look at how much score you have got and what computer was looking at when giving that a score. Based on that, we can do a comprehensive analysis of your performance and tell you you need to focus on these questions, and in the last exam you did not get a score because of these problems. And I think this is a really good way to find out where you need to focus and how you need to prepare yourself. This saves you time, this saves you money, and this saves you from frustration as well. So if you're also wondering how you can do that and how you can benefit from this provision, then simply go to our website and look for the features we have on our different plans. And if you need help from us, please get in touch and we'll see what we can do for you. If you have any other questions about Pearson's scoring algorithm or any skills you require to pass in this test, just let us know so that we can do something for you. And if you want me to cover any particular aspects of the exam in my next video, please let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Until my next video, have a good time and all the best if your exam is coming up.